And when I came to, I had a revelation, a vision, a picture in my head, a picture of this. This is what makes time travel possible.
And welcome back to the channel, everybody. Welcome back to another new video. We are going to shoot this video from my favorite location up here at the golf course by my house and talk about something kind of crazy. It's interesting how when CEOs are gone, after they're gone, everybody talks about the stuff they did. By the way, take a look at the shaker. Isn't it looking beautiful? As always, love that thing. Anyways, the CEO steps down at Stellantis, and now everybody talks about, or they're starting to leak all the stupid things that were taking place at that, that company. But it's funny how that happens after. But during, while he was doing crazy stuff, or while any CEO is doing crazy stuff, everybody's like, oh yeah, no, we didn't say anything because we thought it was, you know, we had to follow his lead, and we thought it was all good ideas, and he had, you know, insight to it. So when he was sitting in the corner of his office, hooking electrodes to his nipples and putting ketchup all over his private parts, nobody thought maybe we should say something to somebody and pull him out. No, we thought we're going to keep him here and let's play it out. Let's see how it goes. So hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars later, the company is in terrible shape and needs to be completely fixed, reversed course. But now it's okay. Everybody's coming out saying, hey, yeah, you know what? He was the only guy that had an issue with this Hemi thing. We had a good plan. And Mopar Insider came out with this article, and I got to share it with you guys because it's almost hilarious when you think about how utterly stupid companies can be and how everybody falls in line with a megalomaniac leader and doesn't say anything about the insane stuff that he does. He's in there wearing a freaking moose hat and singing show tunes, and everybody's like, yeah, he must have an idea. He must have a plan, you know, for the future that's going to be better than any other plan. Regardless of how stupid it was, all of us knew this. We all knew this. We were talking about this a year, 2 years ago, that he was on the wrong track. Yet people at that company, seemingly very intelligent people on the board of directors, were like, well, you know, it's his plan. Must be okay. He must have a plan. He's got tinfoil wrapped all over his head, and he's hiding from the sunlight. I mean, it's probably going to be okay. He's got a plan because he's the CEO. He's the visionary. No, somebody should have said something way sooner. Way sooner. They should have pulled this guy out. They could have saved themselves a whole lot of brain damage. But let me go order my martini, get myself something to eat, and we'll restart this video in a second. All right, so let's get started with this video, but got to start here. Oh, that's good. So in this article, and I'll put a link in the description below, Mopar Insiders definitely are insiders. They're getting information, and we can take this as gospel that it actually happened, that these conversations are actually happening, which is like everybody just got freed from an oppressive environment from Carlos Tavares. But I just got to share just a couple short paragraphs that kind of scream out that I just think somebody on the board of directors or Elkin should have said, you know what, let's pull the plug on this guy sooner than later, or let's not give him so much power and control to make a bad decision. Had they just watched some YouTube videos, I mean, not just my YouTube videos, I mean, watch Butters, TK's, so many others, Wide Body Nations, I mean, so many of these great YouTubers out there that were screaming this stuff a year and a half ago as he was cutting off the, and believe me, I don't believe in the carbon offsets either. I think that's all horrible, but they talk about in here that when Carlos said, we're not buying those from Tesla anymore, we're not going to build any more V8s at all. It was a decision in haste and based on personal beliefs more than anything, because he didn't have anything to replace it. And to this day, even the EV, the thought was back then that the EV would replace the Hemi. We're in 2024 and we're sitting here in December, almost the middle of December, middle of December, and I don't think they're at the dealerships yet. If they are, I mean, it's December, for God's sake. So this article goes on to say right out of the gate, of course, they talk about the Hemi being has long been a cornerstone of the Stellantis brands like Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Of course, it was what attracted people to the brand. It got people to start with the cheaper cars, to aspire to get the bigger cars, or at the very least, it made the brand cool. And that's something, despite the fact that, like, I told a kid in the valet last night, I said, he goes, I love your car. I love your Scat Pack. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's awesome. What an awesome car. And he says, is it fast? I said, not really. So many other cars out there are faster. But it's cool. It's fun. It's awesome. It sounds great. There's so much more to that car, the spirit of that car, that meant so much. And that's where the Hemi kicked in for all of us. And to take that away was like ripping the soul out of a brand. And for them to think for 1 second that they could replace that with a Fratsonic chambered exhaust and an EV and a Hornet is astonishing. But here they are, and now they're in this position of pain. And they write, according to multiple insider sources, the decision to phase out the Hemi was not unanimous. It was driven by former Stellantis CEO Carlos Tavares, despite widespread resistance within the company. No kidding. So everyone was saying, this wasn't just a company thing, like everyone was saying, no, this is bad, we should not do this. But the best part, aside from this quote, everybody wanted to keep the Hemi, said one source close to Stellantis North American operations. Engineers, marketers, and even executives in the U.S. knew how important, Tim Kuniskis, knew how important it was for our customers, but Tavares didn't want to hear it. He was fixated on cutting emissions and improving margins. This guy's all about cutting costs and, of course, his green initiative, not realizing that, and even quitting the ACEA, not listening to their advice and heeding their warnings that you will kill the economics of your business if you go cold turkey into this stuff. But he didn't listen. He quit them and he went down this road. This is narcissism. I'm sorry. I mean, look up the definition of narcissism. You can't help these people. You can tell them, hey, look, you've got a problem. And they're going to be like, no, I don't. You've got a problem. And that was Carlos Tavares in this company. So sources claim that a plan dating back to 2019 was a balanced evolution. So this was the plan. This is my favorite part of the article. This is the part I wanted to share with you all. This was the plan dating back to 2019, pre-COVID, was a balanced evolution gradually replacing the aging 5.7 and 6.4 naturally aspirated Hemi engines with the new twin turbocharged Hurricane i6 engines, while retaining the supercharged Hemi V8 for high performance models, meaning they would have kept, the plan was, and this sounds like a palatable plan. I mean, we hate to see the 5.7, we hate to see the 6.4 go away, but what a great plan this would have been. At the very least, we get a twin turbo i6 with all-wheel drive, which would have been a pretty awesome, still will be a great, I think, a pretty decent car. A palatable replacement, albeit not a Hemi. But if you gotta have the Hemi and you can afford it, you could still buy the Hellcats. The Hellcat 717 horsepower, or the Red Eyes, or whatever other variants, super stocks. They could have done all kinds of stuff with those superchargers, with those supercharged engines, and delivered something in that area that we could have all bought if we had to have a Hemi still. And that profit would have stayed in place, and they could have cut their costs on those carbon offsets that everyone hates and they hated significantly by getting rid of the 6.4 and the 5.7 and bringing in that twin turbo i6 and the EVs at the same time, rather than just going cold turkey and then ending up with nothing because of the issues with the Charger Daytona EV that I believe are what's delayed it from getting to the market in the year that it's supposed to be here. And people will be buying, well, we'll see how many people will do it, will be buying these EVs dated 2024 on the VIN numbers. These will be 2024 VIN numbers being sold at the end in December of 2024 and potentially even getting delivered in January and February of 2025. Like, how utterly stupid is that? The cost of green ambitions, and the article just goes on to talk about the cost-cutting strategy. And I guess the reason why I want to make this video is, one, just drive the point home that this is just the beginning of the insanity that we're going to hear that was going on. I mean, from the executives talking about a meeting where Carlos would not let them buy a coffee machine, and they had to transport a coffee machine 100 miles to get to the meeting place so that they would have coffee. This is the stupidity that was going on. And any CEO that goes down this road where it's just cut, 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 cut. I did that video on, and when you think, when all you have is a hammer, you think everything's a nail. Well, that's him. Cut everything and then go EV. And in this article, it makes it very clear that the decision that Carlos made was not only has now been proven to be disastrous and led this company to the brink of complete and total destruction, and that there is a chance that they can bring this thing back. But based on the original plan that they're talking about here, could you imagine this is all they'd have to do? And those of you that are saying they're never bringing back another V8, they're never bringing back another Hemi, what if they just go back to plan A, just plan A, and they drop supercharged Hemis, which might be a tight fit, but they figure out how to drop supercharged Hemis, and maybe it's a different size Hemi, but a supercharged Hemi option in these Charger bodies. If they do that, what if they bring out another body? Bottom line is, I've already heard a rumor through TK and Butter that they are absolutely going to extend the Hellcat Durango into, for sure, 2025 and 2026. Oh, look at those sliders. Can I take a picture of them? Look at those things. They look so good before I get my hands on them.
I know. They're like little Krabby Patties. They're so good.
They do. They're great. Oh, thank you so much. All right, so yes, the Durango is going to come back again, which means the Hemis are going to stay around because they know that's a cash cow. They can make money on these things. And with the stupid prices they put on them, which I hope they'll fix, people will still buy them. They still sell them. And especially in a new body style with a new Uconnect system, whatever they're going to call it, whatever they are calling it, and technology and everything else, they'll sell them. So stay tuned. Those of you that think nothing's going to happen with V8s, I absolutely think you're wrong. They can't sit here and let Ford and GM pump out these V8 cars and make headlines and sit on the sideline. They just can't do it. And they can't be in America and do that. They just can't. They will continue to die a slow and painful death. So with that, everybody, I'm going to eat my sliders. I'm going to finish my martini. Cheers to all of you. This is going to be fun to watch this next year. It's going to be pretty crazy, and hopefully we get some cool cars. If not, I will be here to call BS, along with TK, Butter, and everyone else. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.